What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today is Get Real Raw Day. It's time to get real. So, most trainers will not come out and tell you that they've had clients that are unhappy with their service, that they've had clients that don't get results, that they've had clients that were disappointed with the outcome of their programs. Now, I'm not going to bullshit you and say I've never had a trainee or a client unhappy. Matter of fact, I think in the last couple of years I've had 4 that I can recall exactly, and 3 of them were actually very recent. Now, of course, all names excluded, etc., etc. One of them was an individual, this guy, who it was 2 weeks since I'd heard from him. Now, when you don't hear from somebody as a trainer, one of two things is happening. Either they are doing so awesome. Okay, actually, you know what? That's bullshit. No, because when they're doing so awesome, you're still going to hear from them. Basically, what happens when you don't hear from them, some kind of tragedy has happened, or they just plain have fucking stopped doing what they're supposed to do. They're slacking off. So, you know, it's not my responsibility to chase these people down. Now, many people hire trainers because they want to be held responsible. Well, you have to be responsible to a certain point. Okay? We're not babysitters. We're not here to hold your hand. You have to be responsible. And very clearly, on the email I send out, the initial email says, check in with me weekly. Check in with me. The problem is people don't fucking read things, and they automatically assume if they don't, you know, I'm going to become chasing them down. That's not how it works. So the individual was like, I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks. I want a full refund. And I was like, what? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, you haven't heard from me. You're supposed to check in with me. It's a check-in, not a check-up. I don't check up on you. You check up in with me. And he was very... like, oh, well, you know, I misunderstood. I'm sorry, you know, but the whole thing, like a full refund because you didn't hear from me for 2 weeks, although you have a program and that's flat out said he's getting great results. You know, I was kind of offended like that for a second, but at the same time, I understood that, you know, he felt like that should have been included, but he didn't read the whole thing. We worked it out fine. Everything's cool. He's still doing well. Another individual, I haven't heard from her for in about 3 weeks, contacts me, wants the full refund. Now, admittedly, has not been able to stick to it. Can't do the cardio, missed cardio sessions, doesn't really like to do the workouts, doesn't want to do the workouts, can't get the workouts, too much stuff going on, blah, 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 blah. I even split the payment in half for her because she couldn't afford it. Now, this is why I don't do it, okay? So this is, if you're going to ask me to split payments, this is why it doesn't happen. It takes me a certain amount of time to sit down and go through your data. I get what I call a new client intake form I give you. It gives me all the information I need from you that's very personal and very specific to make your program built for you. And it's for you. It is not a cookie cutter program. Okay? The cardio, training, supplements, and diet that's on there is specific to you. Even if you gave it to someone else, it's not going to work because it's specifically to you and what's going on in your metabolism, your training, everything's made for you. So that alone, for the price that I charge, most people would charge more for that, and I still follow all the emails and get, I mean, I'm very fast about answering emails and stuff. And that's all included in the price. So she contacts me. She says, you know, I want a full refund, blah, 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 blah. So I go through the whole thing. And I said, well, why? She says, well, you know, I haven't been able to stick to this stuff, blah, 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 but that's not my fault, but you haven't checked in with me. I'm like, I checked in with you. She said, yeah. I said, in the email, it says that you're supposed to check in with me. She says, I never got that email. Meanwhile, in the string of emails that she sends me going through it, it's in there. I cut and paste it and say, here it is. Well, I misunderstood. I want $80 back. And I was like, 80, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, no. You didn't keep up to your end of the bargain. You only paid half for the program to begin with, and you want $80 back. Then she threatened to bring it to a lawyer. For $80, take it to the fucking lawyer. Whatever. Bottom line was, she admittedly didn't follow anything. And then she never even sent her food log. I asked her to do a food log. She never sent it. So she's not doing the diet at all because she didn't even send me the food log. She's not keeping up with the training and the cardio, but she's mad at me because I didn't check in with her. Well, even if I checked in with you, you're not fucking doing what you're supposed to do. But bottom line is a check in, not check up. You see where we're going with this. Now, another thing was I had an individual ask me, well, give me your phone number so I can get in contact with you easier. Now, you know, this doesn't make any sense. My personal phone number has nothing to do with the programs, okay, at all, whatsoever. Now, if I gave my phone number out, my personal phone number to everyone that I train, my phone would fucking be pinging constantly and be going off all the time. So how the fuck, like, that doesn't make any sense. That's my personal phone for my personal stuff, not for clients. And, you know, very quickly I get back to clients. I mean, it doesn't take very long to get back to stuff. Unless I'm building a program, it takes a little bit of time. But there are certain circumstances. I do have packages where I charge clients and they do get my personal phone number, but they pay a lot more for that because I limit it to only so many people so that my phone is not pinging all the time. But for that small fee that is the online training, it's not included in that. Now, the one thing that I see that's very, very consistent through the whole thing is people want to be held accountable, be held responsible to do what they're doing, and sometimes that's why they try to hire a trainer. Now, I don't look at it as I'm here to hold your hand and feed you fucking paperwork and tell you what to do so you get to your goals. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you how to do it so that you can do it on your own. So you don't need me for the rest of your life, which I guess would be fine, but I don't think that it's worth you paying me for the rest of your life to hand you diets and fucking training programs. I had an individual come up to me, in Massachusetts when I used to live there. She'd been training with this trainer for years. He was sick, he wasn't there, so she recognized me. She comes up, she goes, "Hey, can you show me where this is?" And she points at it's a lat pull-down machine. And I'm like, "The lat pull-downs?" I was like, "That one right there." "Oh, thanks." She didn't even know what a lat pull-down was after training with him for years. Learned nothing, and I mean nothing. Like, when you work with me, you need a digital scale. You need to weigh your food. You need to learn what macros are. You need to learn what it feels like to go in the gym. You have to learn these things because long-term success is not dependent on you getting a program and handing it to you and you go out and do it. What happens when you do that business trip for the week? Do you just take that week off and not doing anything? Most people do, but does that get to your goals? Does it keep you healthy? Does it keep you fit? No, the people that are healthy and fit will find a way to do it during that week. By finding the way to do it, I mean you learn and know how to do it, how to apply what you've learned to that situation. Now, if you've never had a food scale, I've actually had people ask me, well, how do I weigh my food without a food scale? What? You don't. Like, you don't weigh your food without a food scale. It doesn't make any sense. And, it's not easy. It's a hard thing. That's why you've contacted me. But you have to learn how to do these things. Do you really expect for the small fee that I charge me to be at your every beck and call, contact you like 3 or 4 times a week, write up all these diets? Do you know how much time that stuff takes and how much effort that stuff takes? If you want to pay me $1,000 a month like these other trainers get, $1,000 to $1,300 a month to do that, hey, I could take on a lot less clients and focus just on those. But more than likely, you're coming with me. One of the reasons is I'm very affordable. The second one is, I'm not going to bullshit you. So now, both of those things are pretty much why you came to me, but both those things are why you get pissed when you just don't want to do it and you're not responsible enough. You need to hold yourself responsible. You can be accountable to me on a weekly basis when you check in, but you need to be responsible enough to know what to do and learn how to do it. And if you have a question, you ask. Okay? If you let 3 weeks go by and then contacting me for a refund because you're mad that I didn't check in, if the first week you thought I was supposed to check with you, why didn't you contact me and say, "Hey, just out of curiosity, are you supposed to check in with me or I check in with you, or what's the deal?" No, you wait 3 weeks, get pissed, and then ask for a refund. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? So keep the lines of communication open with your trainers. And for God's sakes, take the responsibility on yourself to learn this stuff so that you know how to do it, and it is a lifelong change, not a 12-week run that you do and then you completely get destroyed after that because you have no idea what you're doing. bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bios3training.com is the blog, and where? Here's the Learn How to Do It Yourself bicep, and we're out.
ExtremeLiving.biz would like to announce that we are bringing Jerry Ward of BioS3 Training and Jason English of Big J's Extreme Fitness to our booth at the 2014 Blue Ridge Fitness Festival, where Mark the Machine Lowliner will hold the ANBF Natural Bodybuilding Show. More information can be found at ExtremeLiving.biz. See you there.